Hello and welcome to another Bodgit and Leggit video. Yes, I am sat down on the floor with me drinking chocolate, with me dogs. Milo, come here. He's not a bit camera shy. Here's the other one. There you go. And I keep getting, well, I get loads of questions. Oh, show your car, show this, what you're doing with them, blah, 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 blah. So, Milo's licking up the spilt drink. Now, so basically, we have a 1974 Ford Escort Mark 1 AVO RS behind us. Now, what that means is this car is like finding hen's teeth in rocking horse shit. It is rare. It's the original AVO, which is from the factory, which is just the problem with the older Escorts and all the older cars. There were so many different models. There was Mexicos, there was this, there was LXs, GLXs, blah 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 blah. Okay, dogs are going, smashing my mic. And yeah, so this is the AVO type. This is kind of the top spec one back in the day. So what do I plan to do with it? Well, as you can see, it is essentially a rally car. So what we are going to do is do as many, well, I can't really do rallying because rallying is just too expensive. It's ridiculously expensive. You need some serious sponsors behind you. And yeah, it is just a rich man's game, unfortunately. You could be the best driver in the world. If you don't have the car underneath you, then you are just not going to win. To give you an idea, to put this into a rally and be competitive, you have to have at least 100 grand put into it. Otherwise, don't bother turning up because you won't be winning. But, there's a big but, there's still massive fun to have. So yes, that is essentially it. So what I plan to do with it, because essentially I don't have any sponsors, I don't have anything, so it's just I have to pick and choose the rally I go to. That doesn't mean if someone does want to sponsor me, yeah, you're very cheap. You're talking, oh, I don't know, 20 grand, round up to 50 grand, and you know, there you go. Just a drop in the ocean. But yeah, essentially what I'm going to be doing with it, I'm going to be doing some drifting events and some hill climb events, because drifting events is quite cheap and hill climbing is cheap as well compared to rallying. So that's what we're going to build this for. It is built for tarmac at the minute, and I'm going to kind of leave it set up like that because, you know, drifting is on tarmac, and a lot of the hill climbs and stuff I'm going to be doing is on tarmac. So, you know, that's what I'm going to be setting it up for, just because it's the cheapest kind of motorsport out there. Again, you still need a serious car behind you, and you need to be a serious pilot to do any good, but there is no greater buzz going down the road as big as your balls allow you to go down that road, knowing there's nothing else coming. It's just you in the road and your balls, essentially. That's it, you know. So yeah, you know, the car is very well set up. It's got a lot of bits in it, like everything. Yes, of course, I would want a lot more in it, but like I said, it just comes down to money. So I'm going to try and get some videos done on this as best I can, but it is quite difficult because the stuff we're doing is very involved. Like we're going to be running the dry sump and the dry sump pipes on, and it's going to take us a long time because we have to make, because we've got different, which I'll show you in the car, because we've made different engine mount brackets, we have to adjust everything slightly. So it could take, you know, 3 or 4 hours just to get one part on, and to make a video it's very difficult because, you know, there's no point us showing you cutting a slice off a slice to get it to fit, because that would be boring. And if we just showed you before and after it's just fitting one part, again, it'd be kind of boring. So I'll see what I can do, but I can't promise anything. There's a lot of work that we need to do on this to kind of get it ready for next year. And yeah, so that's essentially what I'm doing with this bad boy. But all joking aside, just imagine your company's name all over this bad boy. Just imagine it plastered over it, and imagine me driving it, and yeah, sorted. Anyway, kind of getting back to the real life. As you can see, just there, we have 2 holes. You just kind of see them there, 2 big holes and a little hole. The little hole is for the brakes. So for the braided hose coming from the brake caliper into the bulkhead and out that way. These 2 big pipes is for the dry sump, which we're going to run, and the dry sump pump goes on here. But because we've put different mounts on, well, these are thicker mounts. The actual mounts are more or less in the same place, apart from we're putting them on the actual chassis rail rather than the subframe. But this is actually thicker, so our dry sump won't go on here. We're going to have to slightly modify it just for it to go on. And then here is our belt for our dry sump. You can just see it there. and it works off the bottom crankshaft pulley, as you can see. And that's essentially our oil pump, because we essentially have no sump on this. Now, what I mean by no sump, obviously there is a sump. It kind of goes without saying, but it's very, very thin. It doesn't stick down on the ground, so it means it's hard to get hit with stones or anything like that. Or if you come off a jump, the worst thing you're going to do is smash your sump and then you can't continue. So our sump is very, very low. Our sump essentially is in the boot, and it's fed by them two huge lines. As soon as you start it, the faster you rev, or the faster you go, the faster the pump works. You get oil pressure instantly, and a lot of it, because this is a very high revving engine, and you know, you do give it a lot of abuse. We are going to be doing something with the rocker cover, so that's going to be for another video. But essentially what me and Brian have to do is we have to get all this working. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to run all my electrics. We're going to do a wire tuck and actually run them in the chassis rail, so they're not going to be exposed and, you know, easily hit or easily broken, anything like that. Yes, they're in the chassis rail, so if you crash, you know, it's going to break. But at the end of the day, if you crash enough and you've broken your chassis leg, you're not going anywhere anyway. So that kind of puts that to bed. So there we go. A lot of work ahead of us. A lot of pipes running, manifolds, intakes, absolutely everything. Twin throttle cables. Because again, just why not? Because what's better than one throttle cable? Two throttle cables. I mean, just why not? Why not? Yeah, there's no point showing the inside, because the inside is just, well, there's nothing in it at the minute, completely stripped. But I'll just give you a lot closer look to the work that I had to do. I will put pictures up of what this used to look like, and you can just see now it's all nice and smooth, absolutely everything. Look at that. And this side, yeah, so there we go. That's what we did. That took a long time, over 3 weeks solid work to do this engine bay. So it takes a long time, and the old girl still needs a few bits, but again, we don't need to worry about that yet. We want to get this for a few competitions next year. That's the plan. In the summer, want to go out putting some miles on this baby, because, you know, you might as well enjoy it. What's the point of looking at it? No point looking at it, might as well enjoy it. So I will be doing a lot more videos on this, showing you kind of the progress we're doing and a lot more stuff like that. Very difficult just to kind of do like a service, because again, you can't service this like you would a normal car. There's nothing I can show you on this that would kind of relate to a normal car, because the way the suspension's set up, you know, it's rose joint suspension, there's no bushings in it. There is no rubber bushings in the front of this car at all. Well, I tell a lie, there is 2 D bushings, that's it. Everything else is metal on metal, and again, I know that sounds crazy, like it doesn't work, but it does work. No play, no twist, so when you turn the steering wheel, the car moves. So you know, I can show you the bits, but it's not going to relate to your car in the sense of, well, unless you have one of these, of course. But then if you have one of these, you know what you're doing anyway. So we will show you as much as we can, and that's it. Yeah, so there's a lot of work ahead of us, a lot of messing, a lot of tea drinking and all that. So that's it, people. Yeah, there's the beast. She's an animal. It's light, it's powerful. Like I said, the faster it goes depends on the balls you have. It's as simple as that. There's obviously things I would love to do with it. I would love a sequential, 6-speed sequential box. I would love to put a different back end in to well, there's just loads. I mean, it's one of them things you never finish. You never ever finish something like this. You're constantly upgrading it. There's constantly new parts coming out. You think, oh yeah, that'll do, that'll do. That's the problem with these type of cars. They're never ever finished, and you need very deep pockets. It's taken me a long time to get to this. I don't have money. People think I do, but I can assure you I don't. It's been a lot of hassle, a lot of kind of, you know, missing family occasions and stuff like that. It really does, yeah, it does take a lot out of you and a lot out of your family. It can kind of cause a lot of arguments too, because, you know, you're never at home, you're never this, you're always this. So this is the problem with something like this. And a lot of people have to deal with it, unfortunately. This is just kind of the problem we have with us car guys. But it could be worse, could be spending it on a lot worse of things out there. And at the end of the day, I've got something to show for it. So that's the way I see it. So like I said, a lot more videos coming up on this. And once we get it going, once we start getting on the track, you know, I've got plenty of GoPro cameras for it. So I'm going to have foot pedal cams. I'm going to have, you know, cameras on the tyres, looking at absolutely everything. Because with something like this, again, you know, it's a completely different style of driving. To change gear and everything, even though there's a dog box in this, you don't need to use the clutch going up, but you need to blip the throttle going down. So there's a lot of heel and toeing going on. You're essentially using one of your feet flat and the other one at an angle, and you're controlling both pedals at once. It does take a bit of getting used to, but once you do it, you can just, gear changes are so much quicker, the usual and all that. So yeah, we'll be doing all that to get it on the track, and that's it. So look, there it is. Simple. So look, hope it helps. Thumbs up, subscribe, the usual. Don't forget, links up here, links down below. But most importantly, don't forget, get your hands dirty. Sorted.